Phase 4 of the MCU introduced us to plenty of new heroes for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as well as also giving us sequels to some of our favorite characters from the previous phases as well, from the Infinity Saga. Now, there's some of these movies that have been put out the last couple years that you would think would obviously have sequels, but at least so far, there's been no official word on when or if those sequels will happen. But now today, we do have some reports that, again, it's obvious that these movies were in development, but now we have actual, at least some validity put to these claims. This is all coming at us from Daniel RPK, of course, very reliable source that we talk about quite frequently on the channel. He's bringing us some news of some sequels that are officially in development, one of which is not coming from Daniel RPK, but we already know is already in development, and I think has been officially confirmed by the trades, because of course Destin Daniel Cretton is returning to direct. So ShangChi 2, that's an obvious one. Obviously that is happening. ShangChi is getting a sequel, and I'd say this is probably the one out of all of these that will happen the soonest. And that's actually one of the other things that I'm kind of wondering about with all of these is how many of these movies are actually going to come out before the next Avengers movies, or at least Secret Wars, because it also leaves the door open, like what's going to happen between the two movies. But if we get some sort of cliffhanger like we did with Infinity War and Endgame, like how will that all be resolved, and like how can you have, would it be like Ant-Man and the Wasp where like things take place before Kang Dynasty? I don't know, but I am interested to see like how soon some of these movies will actually go into development and hit theaters. Now, Daniel RPK is bringing us news of Eternals 2. Again, this movie came out in 2021, and we've heard no official word on a sequel being in development. But every once in a while, there's these little rumblings and little reports of like maybe something's in the works. But so far, again, nothing official. But Eternals is, I think it was the first Marvel movie to, I don't think it actually bombed, but it got really bad reviews. And it was the first MCU movie, or at least like the first big movie that like started pointing towards the MCU is going downhill, at least for now. And we know the MCU is in shambles, as the Variety article pointed out, but I really enjoyed Eternals, and I would love to see a sequel. I do think, personally, as most people have pointed out, it would be better as a series just because of the amount of characters you have involved in this project. But Eternals 2, I'm excited for that. Will Chloe Zhao return? I don't know. We will see. Then, of course, Black Panther 3. A lot of people didn't really love Wakanda Forever as much as the first one, and that's obvious. Obviously, the first one was better, but I did really enjoy Wakanda Forever. I know a lot of people found it controversial that Letitia Wright took on Shuri as the new Black Panther, but I really enjoyed it. I really liked that film, and I love the whole world of Wakanda. And we know we're getting a spin-off series on Disney Plus about the Wakandans, about Okoye. I'm really excited to see where things go next, because at the end of that movie, it's really kind of left open, like, who is the new Black Panther? Did Shuri give up the mantle? M'Baku, like, wins the tournament to become the new king of Wakanda, so is he going to be Black Panther now? I do not know, but again, I'm definitely interested to find out. Then we got Doctor Strange 3, probably the one I'm most excited to see, and I think would make the most sense to come out, maybe not before Kang Dynasty, but at least before Secret Wars, because, well, our setup for this movie was in the post-credit scene with the introduction of Charlize Theron as Clea, and she was mentioning incursions. Incursions are, of course, going to be a pretty big deal in Avengers Secret Wars and Kang Dynasty as well. But this is one of those movies that I think could come out in between. Maybe Doctor Strange won't be in Kang Dynasty, and this could explain, like, oh, he was in the Dark Dimension, he was dealing with all these other incursions, and then he comes in Secret Wars, and he's like, all right, here's how we're going to handle things. But definitely a film I'm excited to see. I'm hoping that we can return back to form, because Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I still like the movie for the most part, but it didn't really feel like a Doctor Strange movie. It was more of a Scarlet Witch multiverse film. I want more Doctor Strange centric, and I think that's what we'll be getting with Doctor Strange 3, with the introduction of Clea, and with hopefully the return to the Dark Dimension and Dormammu. That could be really cool. Maybe even get some Nightmare up in here. I'd love some Nightmare in this movie. But then finally, again, a pretty obvious one is Thor 5. We've heard some pretty valid reports in recent weeks that Thor 5 is in development, but Taika Waititi is not returning to direct, which some people are really happy about that because they just absolutely hate Taika Waititi after Thor Love and Thunder. I'm coming from the perspective of, like, you know, every director has their good movies and their bad movies. Like, Thor Ragnarok is one of the best MCU films. Sure, Love and Thunder is on the lower side of the ranking, but Ragnarok is still fantastic, and Taika Waititi is still an amazing director. So I would have enjoyed seeing him come back, but I'm definitely interested to see who they end up getting to take on the role. But most importantly, I'm excited to see Brett Goldstein as Hercules, to get some Thor versus Hercules. I think that is going to be epic and totally amazing. I'm so excited for that. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about all these reports of these MCU sequels that are in development? Of course, we're getting some more Thor. We're getting more Doctor Strange. We're getting, of course, more ShangChi and Eternals and Black Panther as well. So, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.